What's up? What's happening, folks? Welcome back to the channel, Sports, Life, and Politics TV. Today is August 30th. I'm Samuel Koppel, and I'm here for the news. And today, we're going to be going over a little clip in a segment I would like to call Run, Brother, Run, where a black man decides to run from the cops. Man drags police officer during a traffic stop at Port St. Lucia. I'm scared of cops. I guess that's what he told the officer. Let's take a look.
Do you have any much time? No, I don't. Okay, I'm gonna have you step out. And the reason why is because, let me ask you a question. Do you have a medical marijuana card?
I just got my car searched.
Do you or no?
No, sir.
Why does your car smell like marijuana?
It doesn't, sir.
It does. There's a reason why I'm asking that. It's not my first day, okay? Well, this is what I'm gonna tell you, okay? As long as you're cool, you stay cool, I'll be cool back. Fair enough?
Yes,
I don't care about a little bit of pot. I'm not looking at Jamie, my man. I promise you, okay? This is what I want you to do. I want you to be completely
scared of cops, bro.
Watching this video in this segment, you can tell the officer is pretty cool, calm, and collected. Some of these officers are a lot more difficult to communicate with. I always say there's three different kinds of cops, y'all. You have the cop who comes on the job. He wants to do a good job. He always wanted to protect and serve. He does everything by the book. He's cordial. He starts out nice. He tries to do a good job. Then the second cop. You have a cop. He's more in the middle. He's kind of an asshole, but he does his job. As long as you give him license and registration ID, he ain't really worried about you. But he can care either way how it goes. He's not here to be your friend. He's not trying to be nice and cordial. So it really doesn't matter to him. He's in between. Then you have the third cop. The asshole, the jerk, a motherfucker got a bunch of racism in him. He exchanges memes, and he probably the same kind of cops that exchanged photos when Kobe Bryant died with the sheriff's department. They pull people over just because of the color of their skin. They put handcuffs on people. They put them on hot grounds, on top of hot hoods. They do everything illegally. They're more likely to break the law as a police officer. Those are basically the three different kinds of cops. And that third cop is the motherfucker you really don't want. If you get pulled over, this is the type of cop you would prefer to deal with. Somebody who's going to talk to you like a man. Let's continue with the video.
No. Stop.
No,
Have I been disrespectful?
no, but I literally just went through this last night, like 2 nights ago.
Why did you get searched the other night?
The same reason you guys say my car smells like weed, and I don't smoke in my car. It might be me, but I don't smoke in my car, sir.
What you be doing? Is there marijuana in this vehicle, yes or no?
No, there's not.
Now is your chance to tell me. Because if you're honest with me, I will work with you. Don't reach, man. Don't reach. Relax. Okay. No shit.
And let me tell you another thing. That was extremely dangerous. Look, being an officer, I ain't going to bullshit. That's one of the hardest jobs in America because you're dealing with so many different people, different personalities. Their mental stability is always in question. You don't know who these people are, what they're dealing with on a day-to-day basis, what their temperament is at this particular moment. Did his mom just put him out? Did his girlfriend just break up with him? Is he ready to end his own life? You never know when you pull a person over. Him reaching over there and grabbing that man purse, and these niggas in these man purses drive me nuts. But the nigga reached over there and grabbed this purse. Lord have mercy. Let's keep the video going.
Okay. Is there anything else in there? Hop on out, man. You don't have a choice.
Now listen to me, y'all. I hope for his sake, he had 3 guns in the car, 8 pounds of cocaine, some marijuana, a lady tied up in the trunk, and it had 6 warrants for his arrest. Because for him to drive off like that purely just for some marijuana will be one of the most idiotic things you possibly can do. But obviously we don't know what he had in the car. But I'm pretty sure they're going to do an update on this, and I will do an update on this. But that was idiotic, extremely dangerous, and he almost could. The police could have drawn down on him when he reached for that bag. He really could have. If I was a black man and that was a black kid, him reaching for that bag that fast like that without telling me what he about to do, yeah, that could have got his ass possibly damn near shot. Seriously. Oh, I guess somebody else is with him in this other BMW right here. Looked like he got him a white girl.
The black male operator, I have his Florida ID with me. Just drag me in this vehicle.
That's just about an idiot. That's just about as idiotic as a fucking thing you possibly can do in a situation like that. Like I said, I hope he had all type of shit in that car to make it at least worth it, where you can understand why he would run off and drive off like that. And thank God for him, the officer let go, because he could have dragged him and fucked his knees and shit all up. Then when they catch you and they down you, beat the shit out of you, then you be looking crazy and shit.
Hey, let's start setting up a perimeter.
She's crying like a motherfucker. She might not never date another black guy after their experience. She might be done with niggas. She gonna find her a Brad. She'll fuck these niggas. I ain't dealing with them niggas no more. But yeah, that was clip one. Man drags the police officer for marijuana pullover. Obviously, we don't know exactly what else he had in the car, but damn it, he better make sure it's worth it. But that was a little segment I like to call Run, Brother, Run. Okay, we got another one. Rich gang faces RICO indictments after series of crimes. This is in Atlanta, Fulton County. Now, let me say this. In Fulton County, they've dropped RICO charges on these rap groups. You got one rap group called YSL, Young Slime Life, a blood gang in Atlanta, and they do a little sign where they wipe their nose. I mean, they killing niggas and shit, I guess. But they recently arrested Gunna and Young Thug, and them niggas is behind bars, and I think it was like 26 other people part of that group, and everybody snitching on everybody. Young Thug has been known as a real stepper out here in the streets, and that means he's out here really calling hits and really getting people killed. And I remember back in the day, he got Lil Wayne bus shot up. So him and Lil Wayne, they never liked each other, and they was both with Cash Money Records. So, but yeah, these niggas is going to jail. If you in Atlanta, man, you better watch out. They locking motherfuckers up left and right. Let me say this too, to all the gang members out there. Hey man, these people are getting sick of your shit. And the everyday average black person is starting to get tired of y'all too. This is something that the gangs is gonna have to come. Because before, you know, black people, even when they was in gangs, you had a large segment of Negroes who was still rooting for them young men, didn't want them to get arrested. We didn't want them in jail, but that shit started to change. These niggas got to go to jail. These niggas got to be locked up because they're becoming completely out of control. You got kill boys up in Milwaukee. They just stealing cars and racing up and down the street, acting a fool. You got LA, they just smashing and grabbing, robbing everything that move. You got Atlanta, they calling hits, killing everything that move. These gangs are starting to be out of control. And if you in a gang, they finna start cracking down on your ass. And that's a good thing, because jail is a good thing for a lot of people. It clears you, it gives a chance for you to clear your mind. They realize, because some people, they really are gangsters. They really are, that's their life. And jail will prove whether that's true or not. Let's take a look.
I am not going to negotiate with gang members, for you do not get to commit crimes in my county.
That is Fulton County District Attorney Fonnie Willis. She is pledged to crack down on gang activity in Fulton County and across Metro Atlanta. The latest investigation involves the drug-rich gang, and Willis announced today she is formally bringing RICO charges against 26...
And let me say this too. If you gonna name your gang, it's supposed to be inconspicuous. It's gotta be some... the puppy dog lovers, but you raising nothing but hell. But the last thing you want to name your gang is after a bunch of illegal shit. The drug-rich gang. So you rich off drugs. How stupid can you be? And then you get on the internet and flex with all the money and saying I got rich off drugs. I mean, the modern day Negro criminal is about as dumb. These niggas, they gotta go to jail. They got to, because they're too idiotic. They get on the internet, they tell all their business, they threaten and say they're gonna shoot and kill niggas on the internet live for everybody to see. They show all the money and they snatch a nigga chain and rob them, and they put the chain on and put on the video, and I mean, just as dumb as can be. It's like you can't even make excuses for these niggas. You just got to realize that these niggas got to go to jail. It is what it is.
alleged gang members.
Yeah, that's right. So officials say these alleged gang members primarily targeted athletes and entertainers around Metro Atlanta, using social media to learn what they had and how to break into their home.
Tonight, Joe Rickley has more details on the indictment and where the case...
And I want you to look at, you see these two black people right here? These two niggas is all for these niggas going to jail. The average, everyday, hardworking black person in America, they're about through with these young niggas. They really are. They feel like they can't be helped, they can't be saved, they have to go to jail. It is fucked up that it's like that, but it's true. They have to. They have no choice. And all these black people who's 30s, in their mid-30s, 40s, 50s, they're no longer rooting for these young niggas. They rooting for these niggas to go to jail, and then they can correct themselves when they come out of there. But on the street, they robbing everything that move.
The gang stands right now.
If you thought Fulton was a good county to bring your crime to bring your violence to, you are wrong, and you are going to suffer consequences.
Fulton County District Attorney Bonnie Willis on a 94-page indictment spelling out 220 charges against 26 people alleged to be involved in the drug-rich gang.
They use things like prescription bottles and money symbols, and this is in their jewelry and their tattoos, and we see that present here.
Investigators say the gang started in DeKalb County in 2016, but has branched out across Metro Atlanta, committing crimes like shootings, home invasions, and burglaries. Their 16 targets include Atlanta celebrities, athletes, and influencers who all post their possessions on social media.
They're immediately going to closets. They're immediately going to bedrooms. They know where these high-end items are.
According to this,
and let me say this for all the flexers on the internet. You can be hardworking and you can, you know, it got everything legally and did everything the right way. But if you want to get on the internet and stunt, it's wolves out here now. It's no longer can you get on the internet and show all your money and all your cars and stunt on the world. And you earned it, you worked hard for it, but so what? These motherfuckers, it's wolves. There's people out here hungry. They want the money. They want all the shit you got, but they don't want to work for it. And if you going to show it off, you just as guilty. I said it in another video. You want to walk down the deepest, darkest alley, you have every right to. No, you shouldn't be killed. Yes, it's illegal for you to be hurt or harmed, but that don't mean it's a wise decision. It's a terrible decision. Stop all the flexing.
Indictment from the Fulton County District Attorney's Office. Investigators used rap lyrics and social media to track down some of the gang members. Last week, Sandy Springs police announced the arrest of 3 people in Florida tied to the drug-rich gang. Sergeant Matt McKinnis says gang members are not stopping there.
Anybody can be at risk, and that's the scary part. And that's why we've tried to tell people, don't post on social media what you don't want the world to see.
Investigators say nearly 20 people listed in the indictment are in custody, while at least 5 remain on the run.
We know who they are, they know who they are, and our message to them is simply this: come turn yourself in, because we're not going to stop until we get you.
Yeah, they're going to find you. Hey, you not El Chapo's son. In Mexico, when the police arrested El Chapo's son, the cartel literally came with so many people and with threats of violence and machine guns and rocket launchers and forced them to let them go. You niggas ain't them. The average nigga ain't that type of gang member. He's scared of the police. The cartel, them real gangsters down there, them real gangsters, they not scared of the police. So you niggas out here who like to be out here in these gangs and shit, you can't be really gangster if you scared of the police. These niggas scared of the police, they hiding and shit. Shit, you done did the crime now it's time to do the time. All this crime niggas, y'all free Young Thug. Fuck that. That nigga got to do his time. Every nigga I know growing up, I had cousins and shit, gang banging and shit. Them niggas never cried. They might have cried in their cell to themselves, but they knew what they did. It wasn't no free such and such and free this nigga. It wasn't none of that shit. Nigga did his time like a man. He stood 10 toes down. He got out and changed his life. Got him a CDL, started trucking, did his motherfucking thing. That's how you do it. If you want to be a gangster, the only 2 things come with being a gangster is death and jail. That ain't nothing new. Niggas been saying that since the 90s. That's the only 2 things come with it.
I am not going to allow pleas. We are going to find you. We are going to convict you. And we're going to send you to the prison for the rest of your days. And I'm not apologizing for that.
In Atlanta, Joe Rickley, 11 Alive News.
You heard what she said? She said she ain't apologizing for that shit. Proud Boy sentenced to 45 years in prison for January 6th case. Another, now you got white idiots. These is damn near white niggas. Dumb as a motherfucker. Let's take a look.
He still believes the 2020 election was stolen?
started them.
How about this Proud Boy, Ryan, who was sentenced today? What can you tell us about him, and can you confirm that he still believes the 2020 election was stolen?
That's right. His name's Joshua Pruitt. He's a 40-year-old. He was actually a D.C. bartender at a bar here in D.C. For a while, and has sort of been now kicked out of that community, of course, after his arrest. He spent the last several months behind bars because of a pretrial release violation. But in court today, he indeed did say that he still continues to believe the election was stolen. And I caught up with...
Well, let me tell you, do I think the election was stolen? I think it was some chicanery going on, some bullshit. Joe Biden didn't even really run for president. If you remember, he actually was running his whole goddamn campaign from his basement. Remember, it was COVID. He couldn't come out. He couldn't run. He didn't have no energy. Nobody really wanted him. On Trump's side, he had all the energy. His people loved him. They came out. They showed up. And we know running elections is about getting energy into the people. Joe Biden really had no energy. Now, can I prove 100% beyond a shadow of a doubt that Joe Biden and the Democrats cheated? No. But my common sense would tell me that politicians are crooked as hell and they'll cheat at the drop of a hat. They'll do whatever they got to do to win. So, you know, it is what it is.
With his lawyer afterwards, who explained that it's pretty tough to convince Mr. Pruitt that this was not the case, if you want to take a listen. Have you disabusing of that notion that the election was stolen, or is it just a hopeless battle at this point?
We've had many conversations about it, and Mr. Pruitt is firm.
Oh, not one of these niggas. He's like a little hairless cat. I mean, this nigga look like one of them hairless. These type of Negroes, not a piece of hair on his face, not a piece of hair on his head, just shaved. He probably got his legs shaved, his armpit shaved. Lord have mercy. Meow.
No convincing him.
Mr. Pruitt is firm in his position.
Okay. It's something I've been fascinated with, this idea of these defendants coming in and saying whether or not they still believe in these election lies, because of course in this case you have an instance of a defendant who's going to throw away years of his life because he believed this lie, and if he didn't actually think it was true, that's something that's tough to swallow. There have been some defendants who have switched courses and said, yes, I actually was tricked, I was fooled, I fell for these ridiculous lies, but in this case Mr. Pruitt seems to be sticking with it there, Alex.
Well, that was that clip. Moral of the story was Hello Kitty. Unbelievable. All right, let's go to this. 2 killed in shootings inside Oregon supermarket. Now, anybody who's kept up with this channel knows for a fact I've covered every mass shooting. I think personally I've done a fantastic job. I've asked questions that nobody else asked. I was the first nigga on the internet to tell you what kind of gun Salvador Ramos used in Uvalde days. I was the first person to ask what was he doing with that kind of weapon. Where was the social media sites? I was the first person to ask all these type of great questions. The difference between this type of news channel and another news channel is having the ability to ask questions that they can't ask. See, most of these people on the news channel, they're like robots, y'all. These are drones. They read from the teleprompter and that's all they got for you. They ain't got nothing else for you. They can't give their personal opinion. And in their private life, I'm pretty sure they give all type of opinions. But in their personal life, I mean, on the news, they can't give you no goddamn opinions. They just read that teleprompter and it is what it is.
66 years old, losing his...
Hold on.
We are learning more about that deadly supermarket shooting in Bend, Oregon. Tonight, the story here of the worker inside the store, 66 years old, losing his own life while trying to disarm the gunman, a 20-year-old, authorities say, with an AR-15 style rifle. Authorities credit that...
There it is. Listen to me. If you're new to this channel and you go back in my catalog and you go back and look at all the videos I made on mass shooters, every single mass shooter had the same exact gun, an AR-15. They ain't never got a bolt action rifle. They ain't never got a motherfucking 30-06. They ain't never got a AK-47, a Balishnikov. They ain't never got nothing but an AR-15. They don't have a bullpup. They don't have anything of that sort. It's always an AR-15, and the reason why it is what makes you extremely suspicious that these people are sent by the government. This is alleged that they're sent by people from the CIA, from MK Ultra Mind Control, is because they never tell you what was on their social media. They never tell you who they were in communication with. They never tell you who none of these people's doctors were. They never tell you anything other than this man was just crazy and he went in the grocery store and he started shooting. Now, can that happen from time to time randomly? Absolutely. But when you have the same exact thing happening time and time again, you know after a while, it's just not a coincidence. You know what I mean? It's not a coincidence. It's every time your cousin come over, something come up missing. The first time it could be you misplaced it. The second time could be maybe you misplaced it. Now the third time, goddamn me. I mean, common sense has to start to kick in eventually. Keep the video going.
With slowing the gunman down, police called to the scene of an active shooter who started firing there in the parking lot before going inside the store. And investigators tonight pointing to that all too familiar profile of the shooter, again 20 years old, with that assault-style rifle. Elwin Lopez on the scene.
Hey, even he said it. Even he said it. All too familiar. Listen to me. Even they know. Look, behind the scenes in the media, they know what this shit is. There's no way they couldn't, because they would have to say, damn, why is it the same exact way all the time? Listen, hear it one more time, y'all. Go back 10 seconds.
Investigators tonight pointing to that all too familiar profile of the shooter, again 20 years old, with that assault-style.
Yeah, young man in his early 20s, AR-15, every time.
By one grocery store worker might have saved dozens inside an Oregon supermarket. The first calls coming in around 7 p.m. Sunday evening.
An active threat currently at Safeway. We have multiple victims inside Safeway.
Officials say the alleged.
Was it just me or he had the lowest energy on an emergency call I've ever seen in my life? There's an active shooter, inside of Safeway. I don't really know. I'm just, guys, I'm just high off mushrooms. I'm just here. I'm rolling. I'm like, man, I don't really know. Let me hear it one more time. I'm sorry, y'all. I have to. Maybe it was me. Maybe I'm tripping.
Sunday evening.
An active threat currently at Safeway. We have multiple victims inside Safeway.
Officials say the alleged.
What?
20-year-old Ethan Blair Miller lived nearby and started firing an AR-15 style rifle as he walked across his parking lot and shopping center. The gunman then made his way into this Safeway, shooting and killing an 84-year-old customer, now identified as Glenn Edward Bennett.
The shooter shot one person. That person was transported by medics, but is now deceased. The shooter continued through Safeway firing.
Me and 3 other employees.
And I used to stay in Oregon. Bend, Oregon is south of Portland. I mean, Portland, everything in Oregon is south of Portland. But yeah, Bend is south of Portland.
Ran into a walk-in refrigerator and closed the door and stayed there.
But police say one employee.
And when I stayed in Portland, hey, believe it or not, when I used to stay in Portland, I actually used to work at Safeway. I was in produce. Unbelievable. Sports, life, and politics TV. I'm Samuel Koppel, and I'm here for the news.
Shooter in the produce section before he was killed.
Without his intervention and without him physically confronting the shooter, it could have been very tragic.
At 7:08 p.m., just 4 minutes after those first 911 calls, officers entering the grocery store, finding the gunman dead of an apparent self-inflicted gunshot wound, the AR-15 style rifle, and a shotgun next to his body.
I think the combination of someone fighting back and causing disruption, as well as the officers immediately there, and that person knew the officers were inside the store, and there was really no other option for him.
So thanks to both of those actions, you would say, is why the shooting stopped?
Absolutely.
Elwin Lopez with us from the scene tonight, and Elwin, police I know also revealing the alleged gunman had a much larger arsenal in his car.
That's right, David. Police say they found 3 Molotov cocktails and a sawed-off shotgun inside the suspect's car. The bomb squad evacuating the building where the suspect lived, trying to look for potential explosives. And tonight, authorities say they are still trying to figure out what led up to this. David.
Elwin Lopez again.
My question, what the fuck was he going to do with 3 Molotov cocktails? I mean, once he went into the store and he started shooting, the Molotov cocktails became useless. Who knows? Like I said before, y'all, a lot of this stuff is orchestrated. Allegedly, but come on, y'all. If you followed this channel, I followed every single mass shooting. It's ridiculous. The moral of this video is they want to get the guns out of people's hands. Them AR-15s, assault rifles, which I love so much. Which I love so much. They don't want this shit in people's hands no more. Not at all. They don't want that shit in people's hands no more. That's why you seeing all this. And that's why every single time it's an AR-15. Never an AK-47, never a bolt action rifle, never anything, never like a submachine gun or Uzi, never none of that shit. AR-15. Next video, what we got next? Johnny Depp makes a surprise appearance at 2022 MTV VMAs. Take a look.
With his ex-wife, Amber Heard. Johnny Depp made a surprise appearance Sunday night at the 2022 MTV Video Music Awards, nearly 3 months after his defamation trial with his ex-wife, Amber Heard.
Let me say this. Johnny Depp is a Luciferian, a Satanist, and a devil worshiper. There's no doubt about that. And I covered this case too. If I'm not mistaken, I did 2 videos on this Johnny Depp case. And Johnny Depp is one of the biggest. I mean, I love Pirates of the Caribbean. He is a great actor, but he's one of the biggest low-life scumbags on the planet Earth. Yeah, and they blamed all that shit on that white woman, and he was just as toxic as she was, and they let his raggedy ass off the hook.
Appeared in a brief cameo toward the beginning of the show with his face digitally superimposed into the helmet of a floating moon person. He joked, quote, "You know what? I needed the work." After a commercial break, Depp hyped up the crowd by quipping, "Hey VMAs, let's get back to the bleeping music, shall we?" Later in the night, Taylor Swift took home the Video of the Year prize for the 10-minute-long Taylor's version of All Too Well and revealed in her speech that her new album will drop on October 21st of this year. She later confirmed in a post that it will be called Midnights. Snoop Dogg and Eminem served fans with new music too.
And let me say this too. As much as I do like Snoop Dogg, we all love Snoop. Snoopy D-O-double G. He has all the swag and all the shit. He's a Luciferian too. And so is Eminem. And Snoop Dogg publicly said, this is recently, that he sold his soul to the devil. And we know that because he said that when he was on trial for murder. And he made that, he had a video called Murder Was the Case That They Gave Me, where the whole video was a satanic ritual on how to sell your soul to the devil. If you don't believe me, go back and watch it.
Delivered a metaverse performance of their latest collab, From the D to the LBC, which was released in June. Snoop Dogg pretended to smoke an oversized joint as the pair sat on a couch on stage before entering the metaverse to perform their song. Bad Bunny also made a statement during his VMAs performance, surprising the crowd when he leaned over to give his female backup dancer a kiss, then turned the other way and gave his male backup dancer a smooch too.
Which makes all this bad, but this character right here, I've never really listened to this character's music, but I've heard of him. This Bad Bunny guy, he's one of the biggest musicians in the world. They've propped up to make one of the biggest music. He's a Luciferian and a deplorable, demonic soul in goddamn self, a soulless demon himself. As you can see, he goes up on stage and kisses a woman and then turn around and kisses a man. Ain't that about a bitch? And you know, if that's it is what it is when it comes to that type of shit. But the point is, I don't watch award shows. I don't like it. It's always, to me, my wife will tell you, ever since we met 15 years ago, I always realized it was just one big ritual. It always is. It's always a bunch of satanic symbolism everywhere. There's a bunch of weird shit going on. And I'm just not into it. And you know, fuck Bad Bunny.
Performance came right after he was named Artist of the Year.
Yeah, see, Artist of the Year. And half the Negroes, they barely know who the fuck he is. They heard him a name, but you ain't heard his fucking music. The fuck out of here. Bad Bunny. That about a bitch. Correction officer fired for video mocking Breonna Taylor. Let's take a look.
This is Louisville Metro Corrections Officer Turon Knight at the police department set up at the Kentucky State Fair. He's making a phony recruiting video for LMPD, pretending that he works for them instead of for the jail.
And he looks like he's part Negro. I don't know. When I say Negro, I could be mistaken. He could be part Latino. You know, there's a lot of black, like dark-skinned Latinos. I don't know. But he looks like he got some people of color in him. He ain't no white man. He's one of these ass-kissing Negroes who gets around these white partners and they'll say a little bit of something to see if he comfortable with listening to it. And he say, yeah, well, man, fuck them niggas. And then they say, oh, yeah, fuck, Breonna Taylor, fuck that bitch. And then he says the same thing and they realize we all on the same page. Yeah, let's make a video.
Video quickly goes south.
We need backup. Answer the call. Be a part of a great police department. Never mind what happened to Breonna Taylor. We killed that bitch.
Knight doesn't stop there.
You want to drive vehicles like this? and fly in planes? Do you want to be able to have unlimited off duty? Do you want to be able to support your family? Do you want to kill people and be able to get off for it? Jordan, Metro Police Department.
I mean, those type of statements are so disgusting. No matter what you think about Breonna Taylor or who she was dating or what she was doing, she didn't deserve to die how she died. Period, point blank. That was vile and disgusting. And, you know, for him to make a mockery and a joke of that just goes to show how some of these people, they just don't give a damn. And honestly, I think this video was for private consumption. And somebody outed him and fucked him over. And, you know, the person who outed him probably agreed with the video. They probably laughed and had a good time. But one of them white boys said, man, fuck him. Yeah, well, how can I trust him? He don't even fuck with his own people. You can't trust a motherfucker who don't fuck with their own people. You a traitor to your own race. Fuck you gonna come over here fucking with white people. We can't trust you either. So somebody outed his bitch ass, and that's what he get. Well, let's listen to him one more time.
Knight doesn't stop there.
And then the man just said, fuck that bitch. That's crazy.
Be a part of a great, great police department. Never mind what happened in Breonna Taylor. We killed that bitch.
Knight doesn't stop.
We killed that bitch. Wow.
Do you want to drive vehicles like this and fly in planes? Do you want to be able to have unlimited off duty? Do you want to be able to support your family? Do you want to kill people and be able to get off for it? Jordan, Metro Police Department.
The jail's director, Jerry Collins, said he fired Knight as soon as he could.
We do not tolerate that. That's disgusting. Make you sick to your stomach. That officer should never work in law enforcement again.
The video so offensive, they said, that the FOP, tasked with defending officers for wrongful termination, jumped on board, saying there is no excuse.
There's no appeal process going to be done on behalf of the FOP.
Ain't that about a bitch? They ain't doing no appeal for the niggas. They didn't have white boys shoot niggas at point blank range, shoot them in the back, do all type of shit, and there still was an appeal process. But that goes to show it don't pay to be no traitor. It does not. And I use traitor loosely, you know what I mean? But it don't pay to, you know, to make a mockery of some shit like that. It doesn't, because especially when you a person of color, because I don't know if he's a Negro or not, but I know that he has some kind of so-called black in him.
We believe that decision was the right decision, and that should be the final decision.
Knight had worked for the jail since 2018. The video surfaced Tuesday, Collins said. Knight was fired within 2 days.
Was able to, you know, work with the union to accelerate this and get that person out of a uniform as fast as possible.
Well, it is what it is. You can't really get yourself overly caught up in that. Let's take a look at, said, father shoots son who was assaulting his mother with a liquor, I'm assuming that's bottle, a liquor bottle? Wow.
Dennis Wolford, WOL-FFORD, Harris County Sheriff's Office Homicide Unit. This morning, approximately 2 a.m., Harris County Sheriff's Office District 1 patrol units were dispatched out to the 21700 block of Rhodes Road. A 75-year-old male called 911 and stated that he had shot his adult son after his adult son was assaulting the wife. The wife is also in her 70s. Deputies arrived on scene. They found the 24-year-old white male.
Well, let me say this. They say that the father was in his 70s, if I'm not mistaken. Hold on, let's listen to it one more time. Let me make sure I have all my facts lined up. Hold on.
Adult son was assaulting the wife. The wife is also in her 70s. Deputies arrived on scene. They found a 24-year-old white male.
Okay, yes. So, the father was in his 70s. The mother was in her 70s. The son was 24. Look, I ain't no mathematician, so I'm thinking they had this boy when they was in their, I would say, mid to late 40s. Had to been, right? If they in their 70s and he's 24, shit, they could have been, damn, they could have been damn near 50. You ain't got no business having no kids. Ain't no telling what kind of demon Yeah, you ever seen Game of Thrones when the Red Witch gave birth to a demon? You don't have no babies when you're in your goddamn late 40s, unless he was adopted. Something ain't right. Yeah, late 70s you having this motherfucker. Ain't no, and then you can't parent and be on top of kids like you want to because you don't know the technology. You don't know what's going on. You can't keep up with the technology. You don't know what they doing because you old as fuck. You too old. Yeah, you too old. Don't be having no babies at that age. You just spawned out some kind of goddamn demon. And the demon then turned on y'all. And the question is, what was going on in this household to make him comfortable enough to where he could hit his mama with a goddamn liquor bottle? That means he didn't have no fear of his father. He didn't have no fear. He had no respect for this home. Listen to me. There are children. I would say 95% of kids can come home absolutely wasted, drunk out their fucking mind, and they'd never think about raising a hand to their goddamn mama or daddy. I don't give a damn how much alcohol. Alcohol, you know what they say about alcohol? It's like a truth serum. So who knows what's been going on with this little boy throughout his life? We don't know. Either he was abused or they let him get away with everything and he's entitled. It's either or. Because I don't give a fuck. If you parent right, them kids ain't gonna come in fucking you up with no goddamn beer bottle. This motherfucker that took a bottle of Patron, ain't no telling how thick that was, and hit a 70-year-old mama. His old 70-year-old mama. Lord have mercy.
Inside the residence from a gunshot wound. Homicide investigators are on the scene right now, interviewing the father, who was the shooter in this case, as well as the mother, who was transported to.
And if this case is true, I'm taking it at face value. Obviously, I'm reading in between the lines. I'm thinking there's more to it. But if this is the truth, just on face value, the son came home drunk and he was hitting the mama. Shout out to the daddy for fucking shooting him. You know what they used to say when we was black, when we was kids? I brought your funky ass into this world. I'll take your dog ass right out. Sports, Life, and Politics TV.
The hospital with a wound to the head. She's expected to be okay. From what we understand so far is that the son had been out drinking and he came home and began assaulting his mother for an unknown reason. He hit her in the head with a liquor bottle. He also charged it at his father when his father woke up to the commotion in the living room. Deputies will continue doing interviews and examining the evidence inside the residence. The Harris County District Attorney's Office will be contacted once our investigation is complete, and a determination will be made whether or not this case is sent to a grand jury.
Well, you never know, y'all. Like I said, I always read in between the lines. There could be more to the case. Or you could have a son that's, like I said, completely entitled. You never held him accountable. You was too old to really be parenting somebody that young. Like I said, they said them two parents was in their 70s and the boy was 24, so you do the math. But, the moral of that story is, if a kid come in hitting the mama, yeah, you might have to blow his funky ass away. It is what it is. I brought you in this world, and I'll take your funky ass right on out. Okay, we're going to the last clip of the day, y'all. Baby hospitalized after testing positive for monkeypox. Wow.
Outbreak for the first time, a baby is being treated at a hospital for the virus. So far, only a small fraction of those infected with the virus are children. But the news comes as the nationwide effort ramps up to get...
Let me say this. I was one of the first people to really start covering this monkeypox situation and giving my opinion. This monkeypox is a gay disease. That ain't me saying that was the media said that. Now, when a baby catches monkeypox and 97% of the people who have it is gay people, I automatically start thinking pedophilia. Look, I could be wrong, but my Negro spidey senses say, watch these motherfuckers. Cause I did a video on pedophilia and they was molesting babies at 8, 9, 10 months, 12 months, 1 years old, 2 years old. I'm talking about young as fuck. So disgusted. It shook me up for a couple days. So yeah, a baby catching monkeypox, and we know it's only transferred through usually through sexual acts. Yeah. This is the difference between watching this drone, this puppet, this mannequin, and listening to Sports, Life, and Politics TV.
More adults vaccinated.
I can ask the right question.
Tonight, an infant in Washington State is in a Seattle hospital after testing positive for monkeypox.
The main thing that the patient was experiencing was the rash and complications of the rash.
Why she say the patient? Just say the baby. You see how they mean? The patient. Shit, the patient. When you say patient, motherfucker can be 50 years old. No, the baby. Yeah, they don't want to emphasize that.
Officials say the child was exposed to the virus by an infected family member. Seattle's children confirming the child.
And I want to ask this one question, y'all. Was that family member gay? I would say 99.9% chance that family member was gay. Yes. That family member was gay, y'all. They can't tell y'all that. If you don't believe me, go back and watch my other videos on monkeypox.
Was immediately treated with T-pox, an FDA-approved antiviral medication authorized for use in children.
The rash has shown some improvement with treatment, so that's a great sign. And patients...
Oh, I didn't even see that. Look at this. Wait a minute, y'all. At least 18 children have contracted the virus. I would, listen to me, y'all. This is alleged, but I would bet my I'll bet everything I got. 18 of those children who contracted monkeypox, at least 15 were dealing with some kind of pedophile. I'll fucking, it's alleged. You gotta always throw that out there on YouTube. Alleged. But monkeypox is a homosexual disease. We know most homosexuals were molested as children. We know molesters molest. People who were molested end up molesting. So therefore, look at that shit. 18 children now have contract. They need to be asking every one of those kids who's around, every person who's around those kids that contract. Are y'all gay? Do you guys, is any kind of pedophilia? Why can't you ask them questions? They say it's too offensive. You're gonna offend gay people. Fuck all that. These is babies.
And a little bit better.
At least 18 children now across 10 states have contracted the virus. Still, more than 90% of the 17,000 cases in the U.S. have been detected in men who have sex with men.
There's the hint. That's why my motherfucking channel is not like other people's channel. That's why I might only have 27 views, but the people who watch that shit will keep coming back because they know this nigga asking real questions. This nigga right here is saying real shit. They gave you the hint. Look, these people, it's good. I'm pretty sure the news people, they make them read the teleprompter, but behind the scenes, there are good people. Just like even though the FBI is a lot of bullshit, there are still good people in law enforcement. There's still good people in the FBI. There's still good people out here, man, who's still fighting and railing against what's going on in the world. Now, they may be few and far between, but they are still good people out here. They just gave you a motherfucking hint like the game Clue. Let's look at it again, y'all.
And now across 10 states have contracted the virus. Still, more than 90% of the 17,000 cases in the U.S. have been detected in men who have sex with men.
We've seen a demographic shift in new cases as Black and Hispanic men have increasingly and disproportionately represented new cases, which further highlights the importance of equity in vaccine administration.
But some good news. Cities like New York, San Francisco, and Chicago have recently reported a decline in cases.
We're actually seeing vaccine get out, behaviors change.
While the cases on babies is starting to rise. Ain't that about a bitch?
And all of that working together to bend the curve.
And the Biden administration says it has shipped enough monkeypox vaccine for high-risk individuals to at least receive the first dose. Second doses are expected to be available by the end of this month. Whit?
Mona, thank you.
Well, you guys, that's pretty much it, y'all. I don't really want to go over too many. It is more news clips I got plenty more. Listen to me. The news will be back on tomorrow. I will be asking the same type of questions tomorrow on tomorrow's news clip. But, hey, the moral of that is, it's some pedophilia shit going on with these babies being hospitalized with monkeypox. There's no doubt about that, y'all. There's no doubt about it. Yeah, we got to stay vigilant. We got to keep our eyes on the prize, and we got to ask better questions. That way we know how to handle things that's around us and that we see. We can't focus. We can't control the world. But by God, we can change ourselves, and we most definitely can and protect our babies and our nieces and nephews and cousins and friends by knowledge. What they say, knowledge is power. 100%, man. But this is the channel where you tune in, you get your news, you get a little bit of comedy, you get to relax. I want you to grab, next time you watch my news channel, grab you a beer. Get you a bottle of wine. Pull you up a glass. Take you a shot. If you're in the smoking, roll you something up. But this is sports, life, and politics TV. I'm Samuel Koppel, and I'm signing out. Hit that like. Hit that subscribe. I just took y'all ass on one hell of a motherfucking ride. Peace.